Now that we've completed our first step, which is loading our sample into the lower chamber of the device, we'll move on immediately to our second step. This involves our second syringe and, once again, our media. So for this second step, we're going to need a volume of 750 microliters. Again, refer to your instructions. It's all going to be very clearly outlined. So there's no need to memorize anything now if you don't want to. But once we have our 750 microliters of our media loaded in our second syringe, we're going to approach the upper chamber of the device itself. Now, before we consider overlaying media in this circular area here above the membrane, we also need to consider the outlet port and the distance between here and this channel leading to this overall surface area, because this is where we're going to eventually be aspirating our final sample from. So we can't have any air or surface tension blocking the way between this point and this channel leading to this overall surface area above the membrane itself. Again, we always want to be very careful not to touch the membrane itself. But for this second step, we're going to start by placing our second syringe with our 750 microliters of media ready to go into this outlet port. And from here, we're going to load 50 to 100 microliters of media. Once we see the media spill over like this onto the surface of the membrane, we know that we've broken that surface tension. There's no air blocking the way between here, and therefore when we are completing this process, we will not expect any obstruction in flow, which we need to ensure. So rather than continuing with all of our media from this location, which is tempting, we tend to see the media pool up in about half of this overall surface area, and then we have to manually drag it, and that's just going to introduce variables, if not moments of potential error. So instead of that, we're going to remove the syringe and continue droplet by droplet, just hovering around above the membrane itself in circular fashion, trying to use gravity to our favor and making sure these droplets come together naturally on their own, while making sure we use the entire remainder of the 750 microliters of media that we've loaded into this second syringe. If we find that we have a dry spot, we just gently want to take the syringe tip and ever so gently guide the media where we need it to go. There is a bit of relief between the edge of the circular area here and the membrane itself, but again, making sure we never come into direct contact with the membrane. And once we have the device fully saturated and we've confirmed that this outlet port and the channel leading to this overall area have been saturated and there's no surface tension or air blocking the way, we are ready to move on in real time, just a few seconds. And this is where our Petri dish will come into the picture.